Hello everyone and welcome to GuildGab episode 98. The Festival of the Four Winds returned and we said we should do a GuildGab because new summer festival is awesome. This is a show all about Guild Wars 2 and today we have Alex of Literally Play a Bull RPG Shack, formerly Alex Slash. I'm officially calling you Alex Slash from now on. And MMO Inks. What's going on, guys? Welcome.
You should follow him on Twitter.
You should. You should. His Twitter handle is right on the screen here.
The meme's coming over, man. The meme's coming over.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
I wasn't aware.
Oh.
Of the memes, the twit.
Of the meme.
Follow on Twitter memes? Hey, that's, I mean,
Yeah.
go for it.
Yeah. It doesn't actually work, but
Does it not? Have you seen the guild called Follow MMO Inks on Twitter?
What?
yes, there's like 3 members. It's like the guy who created it, myself, and like somebody else, 1 or 2 other people. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
We are looking peachy blue 96.
Oh. So the Festival of the Four Winds, I don't think anybody was expecting this to come back to the game. Now, we've been asking for Season 1 stuff, right? Everyone's been saying we want, ArenaNet back, we want all the episodes from Season 1, we want Dragon Bash. People have been asking for the Queen's Gauntlet, the Crown Pavilion, to come back for a long, long time. The Labyrinthine Cliffs is my favorite place in the entire game, so of course I've wanted that to come back. And it's been 4 years since we've seen this content. And finally, surprise, they said, next Tuesday it is coming out. And it's been out for a couple weeks now.
I think the first question to ask is, Peachy, did you cry?
That is the number one question everybody asked me. I unfortunately am a jaded old woman now, and so much more jaded than I was 4 years ago when I was innocent and new. So no, I did not cry. I did freak out when it was announced that it was coming back.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I didn't see it on stream, like when I was streaming, so there's no record of the freak out. But I was pretty darn excited when I saw that this was coming out. I have this memory of being at ArenaNet and talking to Mike Z, and he asked me, "What's your favorite map in the game?" And at the time, I was flustered, and I was nervous, and I was just like, I don't know, Divinity's Reach is pretty cool. I just got flustered. I didn't know.
I like Queensdale.
I like,
That's my favorite.
I think I actually said this. I said I liked how the events work in the Silver Wastes, but then I said, but I like the design of Divinity's Reach. But Labyrinthine Cliffs by far is my favorites. And I actually told him that like 2 years later. I was like, do you remember when you asked me what my favorite map was? I said, it's the Labyrinthine Cliffs. I just want to let you know. That is the answer.
Can I have a redo? Because I didn't answer that correctly, just so you know.
But yeah, it like I said, I don't think a lot of us were expecting it, because after what happened in Season 2, that the airship crashed, and the aspect master died, and then one of the was it the Master of Lightning?
Master of Lightning,
died as well?
I think, died. Yeah.
And no, didn't the Master die as well at the end of Tangled thingy?
Yeah, 2 of them.
Didn't he die at the end of the labyrinth? Little labyrinth under there. But yeah, after all these kind of big hitters had died, and the airship had crashed, and we kind of moved on with the egg towards where it eventually ended up in Tyria. I kind of got the impression that we were done with it, and it's kind of interesting that looking back now, you can see that a lot of the way that we moved around the map in Labyrinthine Cliffs with the different aspects, like the fast movement and the jumping and the teleporting. It's almost kind of you look at it now, and it's almost kind of a foreshadowing of some of the abilities that we get when the mounts came in. So it almost feels like they started to experiment with rapid movement across the map at that point, and thinking, how do we do mounted?
Yeah. It's amazing how moving around the cliffs now with gliding and with mounts, it makes it feel so small compared to what it was when it came out, before we had any of that. Because, of course, I have this extreme nostalgia for, it felt like I was going up and up and up and up the cliffs forever. And then when I was at the very top, there were diving goggles. I would put the diving goggles on, and that drop when you jumped off I remember that feeling like I fell forever.
Yeah.
Now there's diving goggles, because there is the Ellen Keel's airship is replacing the Zephyr Sanctum, the airship that crashed in the desert. So they didn't rebuild that. Her airship is there now to replace that. And there's diving goggles. When I took those diving goggles, I was like, all right, I'm ready for this forever fall. And I jumped off, and I was like, oh, I hit the water like 5 seconds later. Like, this seems so small. Yeah. And it's almost a tad disappointing, but that's where we are in the game now because of mounts and because of gliding and all these new ways of moving.
Yeah, it's that nostalgia thing, isn't it? I certainly had kind of fond memories of it the last time it came around, and to be able to go back there was really cool to see it. And of course, there's probably a bunch of people in chat, and so many people playing the game now that didn't play before Heart of Thorns and before Path of Fire came out. So for a lot of people, it's an entirely new kind of experience, isn't it? And I guess that initial kind of limitation of movement that we had back in the day without gliding and mounts is sort of going to be lost on people, isn't it? That, they go, oh, it's nice, you can kind of glide around and see it. It's like, but you don't understand. Do you see all those sky crystals dotted everywhere? And it's like, and when we didn't have gliding and mounts to be able to get them,
oh man,
we had to jump up bamboo with the Dolphy guide on one screen.
The first day of this festival, I got as many regular sky crystals as I could without using gliding or mounts, to kind of try and relive that feeling of doing it 4 years ago. Yeah. But then after that first day, I got a bunch. I got like maybe, I don't know, like 20 to 30 of them, the traditional way. And then the rest, I was just like, I'm just using mounts. It's so much easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I went through and I didn't need any guides, although there's a bit of an issue with the flyers. They added flyers that you need to collect now for Pikachu. And there's like a whole story that seems to be involved there. I haven't finished the flyers because you need to be like right on top of them to find the flyer, which is really difficult. But all the crystals I went through. Now I did use mounts and gliding the whole time just because it's so much easier. But I did find all of them without like using a guide.
Me too. High five. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Except one, I had my community help me because it was like in that tunnel up on the rocks. It's like super hidden. That was the only one. I got all the master ones as well with no guide, with no nothing. So
right, yeah, and that was the last one I found. And I actually tagged up and was like, "Hey, are you missing one crystal? Come to me because this is
nice.
Probably the crystal you're missing."
Nice.
But yeah, I was just riding around on the Springer, looking at the ceiling, and I'm like, "Oh, there's my missing crystal." Finally. So it's a really cool feeling.
Yeah. Good. So good to return to that place. We also got there's a treasure hunt event that was added. I think the landmass at the bottom was also expanded in the water just a little bit.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So they added a skimmer race. It's makes a lot of good use for the skimmer in that whole area to do the treasure hunt. The first two it's basically the casino coins in Amnoon, right? Except it's bags of loot instead of casino coins. It's got the 3 levels. If everybody as a community gets enough bags of treasure, then a boss spawns at the top that you have to throw water balloons at. to kill, which is just a really cute touch because it's a festival, right? So you're not going around like, and this is the half of the festival that's all about like kind of exploration and fun and open world and events, whereas the Crown Pavilion is like about combat. So I really like that touch. And I like that you, just as the casino coins, you collect the casino coins for the event, you get the event rewards, and then you're collecting the treasure, the bags of loot. Those go in your inventory, and you get to trade them in for new rewards. So I really like that they added that. It makes you it gives you a reason to go back and do the event over and over again.
Absolutely. And it doesn't feel too grindy either. I know that there's something you have to do the event, something like 12 or 15 times to get the maximum amount of loot to get all the rewards or something like that.
Depends on how good you are at steering your skimmer around on the water. I get so frustrated trying to steer my skimmer to pick up the bags of loot.
Yeah. But it's interesting as well that it's not just here for the 2 weeks, for kind of like the usual 2-week cycle that a content patch used to get. Although I remember that the Zephyrite Sanctum was around for a little bit longer because we had like Cutthroat Politics, the initial Zephyrite Sanctum one, and then I think there was one more after.
It spanned a couple releases, yeah.
Yeah, because it went from when Mytrin originally killed one of the captains on the council, all the way up to the Aether Blade. Well, what is now the Mytrin's Fractal and the Aether Blade Fractal.
Mm-hmm.
But it was cool. It's cool. It's nice to have it back for a good month. So people who haven't played it before can kind of experience both sides of it, because it's actually kind of a fairly hefty content thing, isn't it? I think if it was just the Labyrinthine Cliffs, then having that for a month might have been a bit okay. Well, that's great. It's there, but it's here for a month. There's only so much we can do with it. But when you've got Crown Pavilion and you've got the Gauntlet as well, having all of those with quite a few achievements, kind of bound to it all, as well as the opportunity to unlock various weapon skins and backpacks and all that.
They added a lot of rewards. They added a ton of dialogue in the Labyrinthine Cliffs, like spoken dialogue between NPCs. There's of course Ellen Keel and Evan Nashblade. They talk to each other because they put on this festival kind of together. I think every time you go past them, there's like the next conversation. Is how someone explained how it works to me, and pretty much every time I walk by them, there's like an audible conversation that starts, and really just they're clever, they're funny, they're just kind of slice of life stuff. I love that there's an Asura that's like talking to a Zephyrite and trying to figure out like how to harness the power of the crystals for science, and she's just like, no, they're crystals, and we use them, they're glint crystals, and she's like, no, we must use them. And my favorite one is it's a Zephyrite talking to, I think, a Norn, and they're basically saying like, why didn't you guys use mounts when you went into the jungle? We're like, we didn't know there was mounts. And she's like, oh, well, we knew. And they're like, why didn't you tell us that there was a mounts? It's like an in-game lore, reference to like, that there wasn't mounts. And I love it. I love that kind of, the meta conversations that they kind of put as part of the lore. The Zephyrite's like, well, we knew about them. You guys are so brave for going into the jungle without mounts. It's great.
Keep up on it, yeah. There's a couple of really nice other bits as well that kind of reference points in the story. There's a couple of Path of Fire references, and there's also a Sylvari that was corrupted by Mordramoth.
Right.
Who was freed as well, and he's there. It's kind of like a little kind of dark streak in the festival, but there's this Sylvari dealing with PTSD on like the Labyrinthine Cliffs, and he was just like, oh, it was awful. I was a slave to Mordramoth, and oh my god. But here's the festival.
Is he the one that's like way out by himself on one of the islands?
Yeah.
He's just kind of looking at the
on
sky.
top of, like a large rock. Yeah.
Yeah. There's also like a cow on like
Yeah,
a
what's that
corrupted like a what do you call
He's
it?
confused.
A confused
a
like
confused
calf
cow.
on the top of one
Yeah,
of the.
does anyone know what that's about? Because I was bouncing around with on stream, and we were like up there. I was like, "The hell is this?"
It's a cow or like a cattle on top of one of the cliffs, and he's got the purple like mesmery like confusion on him, and then behind him there's like the slightest little like rift in like in the air, kind of like a tear in the fabric of reality right behind him. And you can't interact with it. There's no like explanation. There's no NPC there to talk to. It's just like this curious little Easter egg.
So there's another Easter egg deep in the water where there is a dead quaggan in a sunken ship.
What?
Did you not see this?
No.
Oh, it's great.
It took me like an hour to finish this little Easter egg because I had to like map out all the things. I got a video that's going to go up on YouTube in like today or tomorrow, the cut. But there's a dead quaggan, and there's a quaggan lamp next to him. And when you swim up to it, you get a buff that lasts for 25 seconds. I think it's 25 seconds.
Yeah, and then
what you need to do is take that buff and swim to an unlit quaggan lamp, and it takes you like all the way around the bottom half to the other side. There's 20 lamps in total.
What?
And if you get to the last lamp, I don't want to spoil it for you, but if you get to the last lamp, there's no
cool.
achievement, there's no AP, there's like nothing.
It's just cool.
Yeah, it was added by Matthew Medina because a couple of people pointed it out. And what's really funny is before I knew it was a whole thing, like the first day I found this and I didn't see the buff myself. I'm just running around like, look at all these lamps. This is so weird. Why are there lamps out here? And the next day on Reddit, somebody had posted, "Oh, look, we did this whole thing, and look, there's a surprise at the end."
Wow.
So yeah, it's a pretty interesting little Easter egg. There's no achievement. I think there should be an achievement, but there's no achievement for it or nothing. It's just an Easter egg.
Wow, it is so. I love when they put that stuff in there that obviously like took some work, you know, someone's extra time to put in there, and they just do it just to do it. You know, and I love that. Like, I think I'm looking at the screenshots on the screen right now that are cycling through. The moving boat that moves around the entire bay takes like a long time. They said that was something they just added in. It's just a flavor thing because it's like this moving platform, and they added chairs that you can sit on it to sit on the boat. Like, you know, they said it wasn't just like an easy thing. You know, you don't just push a button and the boat appears in there. Like, you know, they said that took a lot of technical work. And it's just a flavor thing, but that's the kind of detail that and love that they put into this.
It's probably because the boat and Sand Swept Isles was such a success, like, or everyone loved it, didn't they? And then they just went, yeah, you know what, more water.
They added chairs to this one, so you can
yeah.
And when they added this one too, and I didn't notice. I seen it in the patch notes, obviously, and I didn't really quite notice it because I play in Asura a lot of the times, and some of that stuff is lost unless you really pay attention. But when you sit down, there's like a new sit down animation.
Yes, they did add a sit animation.
Right.
Yeah.
So for the Asura, you sort of hop up on the chair and you scooch back a little bit. But I don't know. It's just a really cool flavor thing. My only super duper minor nitpicky disappointment is there's a changing tent on one of the far islands, which is awesome. Which is awesome, by the way. You go in. Do you want to change into your bathing suit? Yeah. You change and you come back out. Of course, you're just in your underwear because that's what your bathing suit is.
Right.
So I remember a long time ago, years ago, I'm talking 2013 or 14 or something, that Shaman had data mined that maybe they were working on bathing suits. And until this point, I had never cared or wanted a bathing suit. But now, because of this one little thing that I probably would have enjoyed for all of 2 seconds, I'm like, I had a bathing suit.
Well, it's because bathing suits were part of the publicity for it, weren't there? There was that shot with it's like Festival of the Four Winds is coming back or whatever, and there was like Norns and that in sort of semi bathing suit swimming costume type things. Did you not see
It's
that?
just a nice little touch because, you know, when you go to South Sun Cove and you enter that beach area.
Yeah, there's some really good fan art going around right
Oh,
now
was it
of the
fan arts?
swimsuits. I think
Oh,
it was.
sorry.
It's
Yeah.
extremely convincing. It's very,
One of the
very good
creative
fan art.
partners, I think.
It is, yeah.
But like when you go, I just think it's a really nice touch because it's an analog decision you're making there, rather than South Sun Cove. You enter the beach area and you automatically change.
Yeah.
This one is there's a little changing room, and it's like you said, it's just that extra touch. Doesn't do anything necessarily for gameplay, but it's an analog decision you're making of, do you want to go into your bathing suit? And you're like, yeah, of course, yes, I do. It's just a nice little.
It's
Again,
flavor.
it's just one of these nice little nods. Yeah, flavor.
Yeah.
It makes the world feel like a world. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the little things, isn't it, that kind of flesh it out.
I'm just saying, ArenaNet, I would pay gems for a swimsuit outfit, or however they want to do it. I can only imagine that like they don't want to make a swimsuit an outfit because they don't want people in combat out in the world in swimsuits.
Well, I want to fight in my bathing suit. You can't stop me.
So yeah, you can make it a tonic that's not usable in combat if you wanted to do it like that. I mean, I don't know. I think they would make so much money if they released a swimsuit. I don't know why they haven't.
And this is probably a lot of work. Like you said, there's probably an easy solution like making a tonic or whatever. But what if they just added changing rooms all over the different beach areas of the game?
Oh, you could just...
I don't know, but
Yeah.
That could be cool.
Yeah. I do wish there was like an animation because you click the changing room and you just kind of instantly it just changes you into your swimsuit like when you pick up the diving goggles. And it's you said it's extremely so minor nitpick, but like I wish there was like an animation of like your character like walking in, even if they just disappear and then walk back out. Like that would have been so much more like role play realistic. Do you want a cutscene? Yes, I want a cutscene of my character changing into a swimsuit.
Oops.
Or, well, my underwear.
Somehow Lord Farron is next to every change.
Oh, God, no. No, he can't be. He's injured at the moment. He's up.
He is. He is. That's true.
He'll be fine.
He'll be fine.
So, in the place as well, one of the top activities of the original festival was you could trade your unwanted materials for Zephyrite prizes.
Was that in the original festival?
It was, yeah.
Oh, was it? Oh, I thought that was new.
There were these boxes where you could trade away your leather, your silk, your mithril, elderwood logs, and all that kind of stuff, and for backpacks and all that kind of thing. And for those of us who remember, 3 weeks later, ArenaNet introduced ascended armor crafting after everyone had just dumped all of their materials. I'm sure I might have mentioned this last time because I have memories of mentioning this before at some point. But yeah, they introduced ascended armor crafting right after everyone just trashed all their tier 5 materials. But this year they've got these boxes, and the prizes, the potential prizes, are a little bit more lucrative, and there are so many more materials that you can trade in. There's particular achievements where you can give things to Drubert because Drubert,
Okay, hold on. The Drubert thing, ArenaNet. Listen,
it is just trash, isn't it? Look,
I don't really mind the whole Drubert sink.
Yeah.
Giving him candy corn and whatever, I can live with that. But I think it was Winter's Day. You needed to give him, I don't remember what it was, but whatever it was like super expensive to give him. And the market manipulators are like feeding sharks because they know that the AP hunters will go after that stuff. This time it's even worse because you need to trade in your tickets for doing the dailies. And the only way to get those tickets is number 1, do your dailies in order to earn those tickets. Number 2, do your dailies for 5 days, I think it is.
To get a thing,
and then you can trade that chest for 3 tickets. Instead of choosing a special weapon. But why would I want to spend my special daily tickets on that rather than a new cool backpack or something
Yeah.
just for
Yeah.
AP points? Because he literally gives you junk. Like,
yeah, you get junk, you get nothing.
Why ArenaNet? Why? Don't do this to me.
Because sync.
I want to feed Drubert his garbage, but I don't want garbage in return, and I don't want to spend my daily on that.
Yeah, I don't agree with spending the daily on it. But like I thought it was hilarious that he gives you junk back. It's like they were complaining that I don't give anything in return, so here, here's
Have
some
some
junk.
crap.
And you know
You
what?
throw
It's
this
funny.
away.
What's funny is, like, if he just wanted festival tokens, I would have been okay with that. I'll go do boss blitz and
yeah,
all the other
you get
stuff.
festival tokens
I'll
everywhere.
feed him 3,000 tokens if that's what you want.
Yeah.
But I am not feeding you my daily tickets.
Yeah.
I want to go buy weapons and battle tonics and stuff. You know, I want, like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree. The festival tokens would have been better because once you get everything that you want from the festival tokens, there's no use for them, and you just keep getting them from everything you do. Like, they just drop like candy. Whereas you're right, the tickets are very rare, and you can only get a specific number of them. And there's some awesome rewards that you can get with those tickets. The new upgraded Dreamcatcher back pieces, which look amazing. Cool. Like, I really want to collect those. I got to start doing more dailies before this goes away, because I want all 3 of those. And yeah, those are so cool. But yes, I was so happy to see that material sink, because I've been complaining for years that, you know, mithril is worthless, silver is worthless. You know, I don't even stop at the ore nodes anymore. Like, oh, there's a rich mithril node, don't care, not going to waste my time, because I got 2,000 mithril bars in my, you know, in my material storage. I've got 2,000 mithril ore, and I'm sick of it. There's too much of it, and so I was so happy.
Those boxes are a scam.
Yeah.
They are. It's gambling. The Zephyrite boxes are straight up gambling. But I was so happy that I could dump my mithril. I not only dumped all the like 2,000 mithril that I had. I was one of those people that was there when it first launched, and I went on the trading post and I sat there and bought, like, I spent like 75 gold buying mithril, buying silver, and opening the boxes, and I was like, I don't care, this is fun. I'm happy that there's a material sink. And I didn't get anything in return for it. I think I got one of the glove skin. I got 2 of the exact same glove skins, even though you can get like multiple skins and multiple weights. I got 2 of the exact same ones.
I think they unlock on all weights anyway. Free? Does not? Or am I thinking of something else?
No, you need each individual weight and each individual glove. Yeah, they don't unlock like they normally do.
Right.
And the reason for that is because the basic glove is upgradable to the shinier glove, basically, in the Mystic Forge.
Oh, okay.
Now, you do get one of those gloves. You do get a choice of let's call it top tier glove. You do get a top tier glove choice if you complete 25 of the achievements or something. 21, 25.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, you need a lot of quartz, and I forget the other stuff that you need to upgrade them in the forge. Yeah, but yeah, you can upgrade each one.
Okay.
I mean, the big prizes, points win prizes, and mithril does. Weirdly, apparently there was 4 million mithril sold in the first hour after the patch went live.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane. Absolutely
the supply of mithril has gone down something like 8 or 9 million because of that. And the reason people are doing this is because the top prize, which I haven't heard anybody yet, is the rarest items in the game. The chalk, the chalk egg sack, the confetti aura, and the invisible slippers. I mean, these are items that are so rare that they don't even exist on the trading post.
Some of them.
They're sold through what's it? Can we talk about the other means there? Here? I mean, it's
no
they're
idea.
They're brokered via a third party.
Yeah, it's a Guild Exchange.
You can only charge 10,000 gold for an item.
Yeah.
And some of the items are worth, more than that because of the rarity.
Yeah. Apparently, since season 4 has started, so that would be the beginning of the year, there have been 11 drops of the confetti aura. 11.
Crazy.
Absolutely bananas. Yeah, I mean, there's the stuff that you know it exists because it exists in the API, so someone's definitely got it at the very least. It's like the AP hunters who try and use the API to find achievements that no one's got yet, and that kind of thing. But there's much rarer stuff like that. There's a couple of gin minis that I think 2 people have, like, and I'm assuming one of those must be like a dev console thing to check that it actually works in game. But can you imagine just having a truly unique item like that? But
Yeah.
But that's the thing. It's like I don't see. I've never seen anybody with a confetti infusion. I think I've seen one person with the chuck infusion.
I've seen a couple here and there over the years. Yeah.
Yeah. Over the 3 years that Heart of Thorns has been out.
It's exceedingly rare. So when you see one, you notice it because
Yeah.
it's obvious. 'Cause I've never seen that before. What is that? Oh, that's one of those 20,000 gold items. It's crazy.
There's 2 other ways to get them as well. You can, and as Veron is saying, you can use your 5-day box to get a better Zephyrite supply box that cuts out a lot of the garbage.
Yeah.
But again,
the
problem is the drop rate on these things is 0.0000001%.
I mean, you think you never get a precursor? Like, you're never getting
Yeah.
this ever.
Like, I don't know how many Destroyer opened, like thousands. And
I had someone in my community said that he opened 300,000 and got nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, if you remember, this is a lot like the Halloween bags I was opening for that Ghost Pup.
Yeah.
Before he was buyable. I opened over 400,000 trick-or-treat bags and never seen him.
Yeah.
The rarity of some of these things is just crazy.
And do you agree that there should be exceedingly rare items in the game? Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I agree.
Because when you get that, it's like hitting a jackpot at a casino or something, right?
Yeah.
I
would be in complete agreement if the Doom bench wasn't available to buy on the trading.
Well, I mean, there's exceptions to every single rule, right? I do believe that there should be special drops and special prizes for those who complete the highest tier of something. A lot like, if you win a monthly AT, you get that PvP and it changes, right? You get the PvP, whatever, right? Certainly that needs to exist in a game for prestige to some level.
Yeah.
And especially in Guild Wars 2, I don't think it's really that bad because there's so many amazing things on the gem store that I don't think you're going to look... I don't think that you're going to feel that bad because you're still going to look awesome and
I mean,
all the stuff you can earn.
I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff that's sort of... that you can sort of get anyway directly through playing the game, like the Celestial Infusions, like the chest heart, the heart piece you can get from Bitterfrost Frontier. It gives you a lovely glow. So yeah, I mean, I think this has been a fine line that Guild Wars 2 walks every that sometimes successfully, sometimes not successfully. That the cosmetic endgame rewards should always be achievable in the long term rather than relying on RNG. But then again, it is an MMO. MMOs rely on RNG for loot drops. It's established. It's the way it works. So I can kind of get on board with it to an extent. But it's almost at the point where it is so low that the drop rate is so low. I've already seen someone in chat saying that they weren't aware that this thing has existed, and the boss that drops it has been in game for nearly a year now. But hey, I mean, I guess that's what makes it truly unique. And just like the Doom bench, you can sell it, but you're not going to be able to get it. You're not going to be able to get it through the trading post, as well as I'm still waiting for my mini awakened abomination as well. That did appear on the trading. That did appear on the trading post for like 4,000 gold.
Wow.
And, yeah.
I'll buy 3 of them. That's fine.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I think too you can get these boxes via Black Lion chest as well. It's the guaranteed drop, And in the Black Lion chest, it's affected by Magic Find.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you need to go and boost your Magic Find up. And now I did, and I think I only opened 15 chests, but Hypnotic, I think he opened like 300 or 400 and still didn't see anything.
Yeah, you get
you know. And Teapot opened like 300 and didn't see anything.
Yeah.
Rare, like super rare or whatever. So the drop rates are just that low, you know.
Yeah.
And in some ways, they just have to be. You can't have 500 confetti infusions dropping from these boxes and then it becomes worthless.
Because it becomes worthless, doesn't it?
As much as I would love that because I want all the different infusions, it's just not very good for the game.
Yeah. I mean, they could have upped it a little bit instead of there being 25 chalk egg sacks in the game. Let there be 500. That's still not a lot, you know.
Sure.
Yeah.
So,
but I guess it's that prestige thing. Like I remember when the game first came out, and everybody went for Twilight when the game first came out, and they were like, you know, the first round of legendary weapons, and it was about like the 3 or 4 month mark where everyone started finishing their legendaries for the first time, and it was just like a sea of Twilights everywhere, and like you saw a few Bifrosts and the odd Sunrise until obviously people realized you could make Eternity as well. But it was just Twilights everywhere. Like you say, because people realized that it was a thing, it was there, and it was available to a wider audience. But it's cool that it is very cool that that people kind of have these unique things that make you look better and give you that kind of aura. And the weird thing is, like stuff like the ghostly infusion and all that kind of thing, there's effects similar to it are actually quite easy to reproduce. Like if you do Dragon Stand and you get a Laystone coat, like a Laystone chest piece, that actually gives off quite a nice aura as well. And you combine that with something like the fractal capacitor backpack, you can put that together and it actually gives you quite a nice kind of quite toned down, actually, quite a nice toned down thing because I saw
someone in the Labyrinthine Cliffs that had pretty much every infusion in the game on them, and they just looked like a glittery mess. Like I couldn't even see the character.
Yeah.
It was.
I was doing Wing 5 the other day. Finally cleared Wing 5 finally.
All right, congrats.
Yeah. It was a hard carry. I'm not gonna
Boosted
by Salt, and I was complete trash. And we were doing the Desmina fight, and I forgot to turn post processing off, and that it's just like I mean, if I wasn't epileptic before, I'm fairly sure I am now.
There's a lot going on in that fight,
all over the place.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, you can't have. Oh,
hi.
Oh my God. Hey, bud.
Suddenly, hello? I think he's got his.
Hello. Hello. Everyone,
my cat is not allowed on my chair.
Oh, I tried.
You have cat aura.
Doesn't give a shit.
You have the extremely rare cat aura.
Hello.
Mini pet. Mini pets that go on your shoulder.
Yeah.
Little parrots.
I do have a unique cat in my home instance.
Oh.
Yay.
Speaking of RNG, let's before we go to Queen's Pavilion, let's talk briefly about the new mounts pack that came out. They did the same thing that they did. This was last Tuesday, so like a week or two after the Festival of the Four Winds launched. They released another mount pack. It's one of the RNG mount packs that has 15 different mount skins in it. And they did the same thing they did last time where you can pay 400 gems for a chance, and it'll give you a random one of the 15. And it goes through all of the mounts. There are more roller beetles because there's, less roller beetle skins in the game already. And I think there's like one more griffin. I think there's like 2 of each and then like 3 griffins and 4 roller beetles, something like that. But you can also pay 3 times that, 1,200 gems, and pick the one you want. So they did it the same as they did last time.
Yeah. I'm going to let the two of you debate it because it's still bullshit, if you'll excuse the language. It's too expensive for a single mount. It's still too expensive to choose a single mount skin for 1,200 gems. Like,
I agree that's a little high.
It just to me as someone who does invest, who has invested a lot of real world currency in the game in the past, the price isn't enough to make me want to buy mount skins. It's too high, and you could say, yeah, I could do the 400 gems and take the chance, but it's RNG, and I think we've been ripped. I think the stream's just died.
That's why I'm recording this locally. My internet's been
cool.
crap the past couple days, so I figured if this happened, I'll just put this on YouTube from my file.
Yeah.
All
right, we'll cut this bit out.
No, everyone should know that Spectrum's garbage.
The Spectrum's garbage. But yeah, I think it's 1,200 is still what.
1,200. Think about it this way: 1,200 is more than half the price of a premium mount skin, which is very expensive, and the premium ones are, extra flashy and a brand new model. Yeah. And a lot of these from the mount packs, while they're really good, and some of them do have different models, they're, I don't think they're, half of one of the premium mount skins, and it's more than half of the premium mount skins. So I do think it's high. Unfortunately, I had to go for that this time because there was a puppy. So unfortunately,
God, my eyes rolled on their own. I'm so sorry.
I know. I have a pact with ArenaNet that I'll buy all puppies. So I bought one random one because I wanted to preview them, and I figure 400 gems for a random one, like, I'm fine with that. Yeah. So I did it. I think I got the funerary roller beetle.
Ooh.
Nice. Which isn't bad. So I was like, oh, well, and so I said, if I don't get the puppy, I'm not going to sit here and keep gambling for it. I'll just, pay the 1,200 gems. But if it was anything but a puppy, I would not have paid 1,200 gems for anything else in that pack. Don't you wag your finger at me.
I mean, I've had this argument multiple times. I've made multiple videos on it. This is just the way it's going to be. I didn't make a video or really protest this time. I was just like, this is just the way it is. I think the individual mount is too costly.
Yeah.
I think, and even a lot of people in my chat said that they would pay 2 times the price. So they would pay 800 gems for an individual. I pick the mount I want. But 3 times is just asking too much from them. And I will say that in this particular set, for me personally, and this is going to vary per person, I felt like there was a very nice spread of different ones I liked.
Yeah.
So
it wasn't.
It's a gamble, but there's a better chance I'm going to get something that I actually use. And to be fair, I didn't hate any of them. So even if I got one that wasn't my preferred choice, it's not the end of the world. That being said, I didn't buy any. Somebody gifted me one choice one, and we did sort of a Twitch poll on which one I would get. But I wouldn't do that personally. I would much rather pick 3 random ones than pay 1,200 for one. Even if it's 3 random ones that I might not get what I want, I would rather have 3 for one than the one.
Yeah, because you're getting 3 mount skins. It's not like you're gambling that you're going to get anything at all.
Right.
No matter what, you're getting a mount skin.
Yeah, and like you were saying, it's this time the spread is a little bit more varied. You're not getting a standard mount with 4 die channels and then Celestial Thunder Lightning Griffin or whatever it's called.
The only thing I think that they should improve, and this is probably a coding thing they would have to do, is I did hear from a few people who were like, I don't have the beetle yet because they haven't done that story.
Oh,
and they don't have the griffin yet because they haven't paid the money.
Right.
They haven't done the gold and the griffin thing. Yeah. So they were like, I bought a 5-pack and 3 of them were griffins. And it's like, or two of them were griffins and one was a beetle, and it's like, yeah, and the person was like, I am going to get the beetle eventually, so that's not a total downer, but they're like, I don't know if I'm going to go after the griffin or not, you know. So it's like, I got 2 skins I can't even use.
Yeah.
But at least the beetle is free content, and the griffin to some extent is free content if you have Path of Fire. It's not like. So I guess
it's not that they can't go back and earn it later or whatever, right? But when people buy these things, they want to use it that day. They want to use it immediately or whatever, I guess, you know. I can sort of understand the complaint a little bit. Like, if you didn't have Path of Fire, well, no, that doesn't make sense.
But then you wouldn't buy them anyway.
I don't think you can buy them if you don't have Path of Fire.
Really?
I could be wrong.
I don't know.
I think it warns you have to have Path of Fire for this content.
Yeah.
Right. My only other super minor nitpicky complaint is I couldn't preview them unless somebody linked me a contract.
No, I couldn't either, actually. Oh. Yeah, it took me a while to try and find them. I was looking through. I saw the new the new splash screen in the gem store. I was like, ooh, new mants. Let's see what they're all about. Yeah, someone had to link me a thing to an adoption contract.
I don't even think like on the official website you could like preview them all. You had to either buy one or be linked in. I bought one so that I could preview it, basically.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, that is a serious flaw, and that's like when you preview like weapon skins or even outfit skins in the gem store. Like the preview window is so small, it's hard to even see what it is.
Yeah.
I think that's a huge flaw. Like like that, you would think they would fix that immediately. Like, they released the Zephyrite, the little gems, head gems, like fire, lightning, and wind. I literally couldn't see them on the character when I previewed them in the window in the gem store. I literally couldn't see.
You have to use the item code because it doesn't zoom into your face, does it? It doesn't zoom into your face on the gem store.
No, it doesn't. No. Yeah, so that's a serious flaw.
Turn off post-processing. Wow, how far behind is chat?
No, it's been buffering for like 20 minutes. I really should just like stop the stream at this point. But like I said, I'm recording, so I'm just going to upload it to
YouTube. Fiddler's just come on stream.
Yeah, that's how behind we are. Is that they're just now seeing Fiddler.
Bad. Aw, got a lot of friends.
So the other part of the festival was Crown Pavilion.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so the Crown Pavilion, which bit's which? The gauntlet's the top bit, and the pavilion's the bottom bit, isn't it? Or is pavilion
the boss blitz is the pies? You go around. It's like the open world, like defeat the 6 bosses, and then the gauntlet is the individual one-on-one fights with the bosses.
So the boss blitz is still an exercise in futility when trying to arrange 60 players to do something at the same time.
You know, it's funny. I've joined several different maps now where people are trying to organize it, and the best I've seen is silver. Now I do know like Mighty Teapot got a whole large group together, and that shaman posted today like he did a group that got gold, but inevitably it's just people not paying attention or listening. That when the boss gets to a certain percentage, you're supposed to stop and wait for the other groups to catch up, and people don't. They just keep killing it, and unfortunately, most of the time you end up getting silver. If you go on an unorganized map, then people are probably just
lucky to get silver,
and you'll be there for like 5 hours to get bronze.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
So, but you can complete it. Just going around inserting stuff. It just takes a long time.
You just don't get the gold rewards, and
which are not that amazing anyway.
Yeah, it's not. It certainly feels a little bit nerfed since last time. Which I think someone confirmed that it was.
I remember the last time it was here. I don't know if it was because champ bags were like a newer thing and everything was sparkly, but like I remember running around there like endlessly, and just you could like run around the circle for 6 hours and just get champ bags. Like I seem to I could be wrong. Maybe that's how it worked. But
well, it's just they really nerfed the drop rates, and it's just not worth people's time to do that right now.
Yeah,
they'll do the boss blitz, but there's so many better
Yeah.
farms.
Yeah, like I mean,
Yeah.
you've got Istan, you've got the Silver Wastes. It's just
And doing the bosses up top, the Gauntlet, which is interesting. They added a bunch of new bosses. I still need to go back and finish. There's a bunch of achievements, and I need to kill Tariasa, and there's a bunch that I still need to do. I sort of struggled a bit this year with some of that because my characters just aren't. Well, my characters just aren't really geared properly for that because all I do is play Druid. So
have you
That's
tried
tough.
cheesing? Have you tried cheesing it with Necro?
yeah, actually, I've been playing Necro, and
Necro downstate is just beyond.
I've killed many bosses in Necro downstate.
Yeah.
But
I did the 5 Gambit achievement on on the 3rd tier sniper with Necro downstate, and I just made sure that I got down to outside of the AOE of his mines. I did Subject 7's achievement there because I kept finding that the cleave kept killing users before I could down him. So I essentially just got downed, and then I could just single focus him to cheese the achievement. It's so broken, and I get that Necro downstate having lifesteal is like flavorful and all that, but it's easily the most broken downstate ability, just ahead of Ranger pet heal, because at least you,
it's fine.
well, it's so. I mean, at least you have an internal cooldown on Ranger down 3 before you can use it. But straight away, just Necro health steal. I mean, you can cheese Liadri with it as well. Still, although
I still haven't beat Liadri, but I don't know. I don't feel like I don't feel a compulsion to.
So, and one of the problems is that last time it was around, I remember on my Guardian farming Deadeye, because the silver return was actually like the return of doing gambits was really good.
Yeah.
So you could farm those bosses over and over and over again and make a good amount of gold. Now they don't give you any silver, any gold. They don't give you anything.
No, you don't even get that many tickets. You get like what, somewhere between 1 and 15. It's kind of random, the number that you get.
It's like if you do more gambits, you get a couple more festival tokens, but you earn so many festival tokens doing the other things with less effort. Then why even? They nerfed it too hard, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's just, it's bananas. It's just, it doesn't really feel worth it to kind of. I mean, obviously there's the prestige for killing Triosa, and there's the mini for killing Liadri, and there's the title for killing. Like
lots of achievement points, but
a lot of it's sort of like season 1 levels of achievement point giveaway, which is nice. It's nice to have that, those old 25 AP scores back and getting the 10s and the 15s instead of the 1s and the 5s for a change. But in terms of like actual loot that, hey bud, everything all right? Sorry, the kitties.
What's tension?
Hey bud. Aww. Instead of actual physical rewards in game, it's kind of not worth it, and that kind of makes it sad, because the only reason that people go for the boss blitz is, historically was the loot farm, and the only reason people kind of farmed the gauntlet in the past was for the Chaos of Lyssa recipe, and I assume that's gone down on the trading post now. I mean, again, I'm assuming it actually drops there again this year.
I don't know.
Yeah.
There was reward reasons, not just achievement reasons to do it before.
Yeah. Although actually, the Chaos of Lyssa back piece now drops from the Zephyrite chests, so maybe it's been taken out of the loot table and put back there if it's been released at the same time.
Yeah, it is in the Zephyrite chests.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still worth like 1,500 gold though.
Yeah, I think it keeps. I think if you did the gauntlet back in the day, I think it kept your progress. And I couldn't. I knew that I didn't do like a lot of it, but I didn't remember exactly how much I did. Apparently, I only did like the first 2 bosses. I was like, wow, really? Like, I don't know if I thought it was too hard or if I wasn't interested in doing it back in the day. I don't remember, but it made me realize like every boss up until the Audrey was just like I steamrolled them. On my Dragon Hunter, and it made me realize, I'm like, wow, like, has my knowledge of the game changed, in the past 4 years? Because before it was just like, I had trouble with the second boss.
And you were like, nope.
Liadri's
still kicking my ass.
No, I would need to go study a guide for Liadri, but...
Yeah. It's interesting. It's nice to have a boss that actually has mechanics rather than the DPS fest thing that was...
That's what I hear about the 5 new ones. Is there's more like mechanics to them rather than, just get in there and
just damage.
I don't know. I haven't played them.
Because that was the thing before, wasn't it? That with the with the original Gauntlet, and it still does this now. That if you take too long to kill a boss, the floor opens up.
You are timed for all of them. Yeah.
Which I don't really think the timer is much of a problem for anyone these days on anything before Liadri.
I didn't have any problem with anything before Liadri. Inks, you played the 5 new ones, yeah?
Yeah, I killed all of them except Tarai. I still have to go back and kill him. Tarai is interesting because you basically need to run away from him until he does his full
swooshy attack.
Like whatever his rotation is, and then he goes in the center. And you've got to dodge his attack and then CC him so that you can damage him. You've got to do that twice before you can just, like, regular fight him.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is, if he catches you, not only does he, like, cripple, slow you or whatever, but he does a lot of damage. And I just haven't been able to, like, outrun him yet. I'm just not doing it properly. But the other bosses, I don't know. I don't really remember them too much. I think 1 or 2 of them downstated me, and I just killed them in Necro downstate. Like, the Necro downstate is so powerful.
So OP.
Yeah, like it's so crazy. The others that I fought, like they did have mechanics and stuff, but you can do, if you're geared properly and stuff, you can do so much damage that it nullifies some of like their mechanics or whatever. I went into 1 or 2 of the bosses, and I was like, oh, I wonder what their mechanics are like. And I'm like, I don't know. I'll just rush at him and do as much damage as I can. And then I just killed them. And it was like, well, they have mechanics, but I don't know what they are. I just ignored all that stuff. One of them was Suriel. She hits you with, like, the longbows. And she, like, locks you in place. And you're supposed to kill the longbow so that you're not locked in place.
Oh.
But I'm a necromancer. I just stood there and went into Reaper form and just DPS'd her. Like, I'm like, I don't care if you're place, it's fine with me, So, like, I don't know. They're interesting. I'm glad they added them. Yeah. I think they should make it a little bit more rewarding next year so you want to repeat these things so that you want to do gambits and so forth. But otherwise, I think that they're fun. I think they're good. Some people are going to say they're not challenging enough, but that's really subjective. And
it is,
it's difficult for each person, right?
It's an open world festival as well. You've at least got to give the community in general a fighting chance of being able to achieve the top bits. I mean, it's not like you can't really compare Trios to Doom CM, can you? It's not really the same kind of it's not really the same kind of league, is it?
I am glad that they're taking inspiration from raids and raid mechanics to put out into open world areas. I know then this has been, I've been saying this since season 3, and people have been complaining since season 3. Oh, things are too hard because, Peachy, you want everything to be overpowered. No, I don't want things to be too difficult for, people who are just casually doing the story. But I can see the inspiration from raiding that they're putting into the open world, and I can appreciate that they're doing that.
Well, and the other thing too is that, like, the challenge does exist. Mighty Teapot did a video, and he spent lots of gold and all whatever trying to get the tickets for the gambits, where he did like every gambit, I think every gambit for Terayasa.
Wow.
Did he do it on like Minstrel or something? Just like cheesed it on Minstrel?
Well, he did it on Chronomancer, but it was still super difficult. It still took him like a lot of tries to do.
Yeah.
The problem is he did that for personal satisfaction. There's no achievement for that. And unfortunately, it's not even rewarding to do that. Like, it's not like he was getting, like I said, silver or whatever, gold or silver, to do the special gambits. So, for those people out there who say, well, it just wasn't that difficult or it wasn't hard, you can make it difficult and you can make it hard. That does exist. The problem is, besides personal satisfaction, there's not really a reason to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Still fun, though. Still very, very fun. Oh. Peachy, you've gone quiet.
We can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. No. Okay.
Oh,
I had muted so I could type.
Yeah.
I do that.
You do that.
I do that.
So yeah, is the I think there's been a new there's been legendary as well. There's been a new Warhorn drop. Did we talk about that last time? Or did that come in?
Yeah, that was with the last Living World episode, which we did do a GuildGab episode on. Yay!
We did. I was there.
What they did do is Verderock, the Warhorn, and the
Minstrel. The Minstrel. You can now.
They're instruments.
Yeah, they're now
instruments. Yeah, that is so cool.
See, Magi must be having the time of their lives with that. Must be sitting there and hit the Minstrel's waypoint.
Oh my god!
Look, it's my cat's butt.
He is on it today.
Hey, bud.
Someone said you get all the if you get all the cats in game, ArenaNet sends you a real cat.
Yep.
For your real life home instance.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
Can they send me a slightly smarter cat, please?
He just jumped into the air.
Yeah. Yeah. Where's he gone? Oh, he's on top of the bookcase. He'll be fine.
Oh, so disappointing. For anybody watching this on YouTube after the fact, sorry about... Look at him up there. Sorry about the stream drop, and my internet upload speed has just randomly fallen off this week. But I recorded this locally, so I will be uploading this to YouTube. If you're watching this right now, you are seeing the YouTube upload. But I think that was about it for the festival. And so we're going to wrap it up here. Is there any of your content you guys want to shout out? Channels and such?
Oh, I should make some content, shouldn't I?
You probably should.
Yeah, probably should. On that.
I've got a mount video up. The Quakin video will be going up. They're Twitch uploads, so unfortunately you'll hear my air conditioner in the background. But both of those I think are pretty fun. I know, Peachy, you have a mount video up as well.
A mount review, yeah. I watched yours the other day. I'm looking forward to your Quaggin, that Quaggin Easter egg.
So that'll be up on YouTube. YouTube's been a little bit slow, especially with the summer months, and I don't have the proper setup to get rid of the air conditioner. But we've been over on Twitch, twitch.tv/MMOinks, Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube if you guys want to follow me there. And I've been sick this last week, but otherwise the schedule is pretty steady nowadays, so check it out.
Awesome. Alrighty, links are down below in the YouTube description, guys, and you can always come over to the Twitch channel and type !GuildGab, and that's going to bring up links to these guys' channels. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of the festival, and we will most likely see you for the next Living World episode release. Thank you guys for joining me today. It was a good show.
Alright, gonna say goodbye, Fiddler. Gonna say goodbye.
Oh, kitty.
No.
Alright, take care, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.